Are you considering purchasing one of the new 2024 or 2025 Road Glide or Street Glide models? If you are, maybe I can give you a little bit of insight on my experience. I've had my Road Glide for about 10 months. I've got about 12,000 miles on it, and I've added some things to it that I'm happy with. Some that are okay, but I just want to give you my impressions that'll help you maybe make a smarter decision on whether or not it's the bike for you. So, and obviously there'll be links in the description. Stick around and we'll go over it from start to finish. And welcome back to Bob's Garage. If this does happen to be your first time here, thank you for stopping by. I do appreciate it. I just post a weekly video from the Huntersville, Charlotte, North Carolina region, and just talking about Harley-Davidson rides that we do. My bike, my wife's, she's got a Lowrider S, my son's got a Street Bob, and in this video, I just want to, if you're on the fence about whether or not you want to buy one of these new style bikes, and you're looking for some input, maybe I can help you out a little bit. Having owned one for about 10 months now, I have a 2024 Billiard Gray Road Glide with the black trim accessory package, and I've added a few things just to kind of make it my own, make it comfortable, make it, the style that I'm looking for. And I'm going to put a link in the description of all these different items I'm going to show you. I'm not going to get super in depth with each one, just let you know what I've done, what I thought of them, and like I said, include the links, and then just let you know how I came from a 2023 Road Glide ST, so I'm familiar with that style. I'm familiar with the older motor, so I think that my opinion will kind of help you make a better choice, hopefully. I don't know, if you're in the market. So let me turn this camera around. We'll go over to the bike and I'll show you some of the things that I've added and what I think about each one. So there's the bike, 2024 Billiard Gray Road Glide. I can't say enough about the bike. I absolutely love it. I know a lot of folks have had some problems with their bike. I've had no issues. I think the only thing that happened to this is the infotainment screen went blank one day. Look, it's a computer system. Sometimes you got to restart your computer. I just pulled the main fuse for a few seconds, popped it back in, and it hasn't given me a problem since. So let's talk about some of the things that I've added. First, I want to go to the, I took off the chopped engine guard that came on the bike, and I put on the Bad Boys Cycles. I just really like the look, and Bad Boys Cycles, their customer service and their quality is absolutely great. As far as seats, they make all kinds of stuff, so obviously I will have a link to their site in the description, but I highly recommend Bad Boys Cycles and their products. Sticking with the front of the bike, you can see that I did add one of the little trendy headlight shields. Now, a lot of folks say, hey Bob, that looks cool, but what do you do at night? Well, there's a couple of things. Number one, when I put the high beam light on, I can still see okay, but this thing is just held on with Velcro. You can pop this right off. You can fold it, not fold it in half, but coil it up and it fits right in a saddlebag, and then you have your full headlight, so it's not an issue. It just really looks cool, and I do apologize for the bugs all over the bike because I was out riding today and I would rather ride than clean, so it is what it is. Next, we're going to move up to the Long Ride Sheilds windshield. As you can see, laser etched with the Guardians of the Children, which is an organization that I am a member of, as well as my wife and my son. With this Long Ride Sheilds windshield, it does have the flare, as you can see, a slight flare at the top, which does a great job of deflecting the wind, keeping it off me. I could not be happier with the windshield. That company, again, excellent customer service, very happy with them. So they can laser etch anything onto your bike, onto your windshield. I think it's a $50 upcharge to get the laser etching. Well worth it, especially if you're an organization like I am. Another item here at the top, you can see I do have handguards. Now these are from Benlari. The thing I like about these handguards is these are a little bit bigger than most. Most of these handguards, I've always said, oh, they're just for looks. They don't do anything. These things are so big, they really do a great job of blocking wind and any kind of debris that could pop up. So I do recommend them. They're really nice. Because of the size, they are very effective. So yeah, very happy with those. Let's see, I did add from Hogworks, I purchased a mid-frame air deflector. I went with a black one rather than the Billiard Gray, just to kind of break up the color, the gray there a little bit. So I think it looks good. Does a great job of keeping the heat off, so I'm happy with that. And speaking of Hogworks, I just added these. These are their pork chop saddlebag guards. 1.25 inches in diameter, really beefy looking, even though they're pork chops. I guess they're porky looking. Anyway, I love them. I think they look awesome. The same diameter as my front crash bar and the same diameter as the handlebars, so it just kind of fits. So again, very, very happy. You guys, if you've been watching any of my videos, you know that I'm a huge fan of how it works and their products. Next is a Saddleman seat. I was going to go with the Bad Boys custom seat, but I was given an opportunity to pick up this Saddleman seat at a price that I just could not pass up. So that's why I went with the Saddleman. It's got the gel inserts front and rear. Again, very happy with it, very comfortable. I've ridden it, again, 12,000 miles, and it's been a very comfortable seat. Absolutely love it. So eventually, though, I think I might get a Bad Boys cycle seat, because those guys, they make one of the nicest seats on the market. So I think I might get one of their touring seats. So, but anyway, the Saddleman, again, I'll put a link. I got this from Lifestyle Cycles. I put this in the description. And then a cosmetic upgrade just off of Amazon. I got the smoke colored reflectors. And I also, off of Amazon, got the US flag tank strip that is on there, which I just think it dresses it up a little bit. Let's go to the back of the bike. I'm sure I'm forgetting some things, but anyway, we'll come back to it. I went on Amazon and I purchased the smoke taillight kit to get rid of the big ugly red taillights. I just think that this looks so much nicer in the back without those big red lights. They just were terrible. And again, as you can see, I did get rid of the ugly license plate. It looked like a soap dispenser. I don't know, that thing was hideous. But this is the Zero 3D license plate frame. Everything you need comes in one box, so you don't have to buy different pieces like with other brands. And this does have LED lights up in here, so it does light up your plate, so you are legal. So I'm very happy with that. I just think the whole, ass end of the bike looks very clean, and the black lights and the black frame, everything just kind of flows, and the colors really look great. So I'm very happy with that. Moving over here, I did add a coil cover, just because that big black coil looked hideous. I didn't like the look of that at all. So I just added a coil cover, and while I was at it, I went and spent $8 on a new shifter peg there that I popped on. Again, $8 at Amazon, but it looks kind of cool and I like it. My son purchased me the Harley-Davidson grips. These are the same grips that you would get on the CVOS-T models. So they're extremely comfortable. I absolutely love these. Not difficult to put on. You don't have to cut the old grips off. In fact, you can reuse the old grips. It's not like they used to be. So, but these are really nice. I'm very happy with those. They're comfortable on a long ride, and I like them. You can get them heated as well. Another cosmetic thing, I did add this frame that goes around the infotainment screen. It just kind of looked unfinished to me without that. And it was, I don't know, it wasn't a lot of money. Like I said, the link will be in the description. It wasn't a ton of cash, but it really does clean up that whole dash, and it finishes it off. Just makes it look kind of nice. I like that. So other than that, just checking the bike over and looking to see, I'm sure I'm going to forget something. Oh, under the seat, you can't see it, but under the seat, I do have Tim's stereo plug for the Apple CarPlay, which if you're considering having Apple CarPlay on your bike without a full face helmet and all that, Tim's stereo is the way to go. It plugs in under the seat so you don't see it. It doesn't take up your port for your cell phone, and it works flawlessly. Absolutely love it. Now, Apple has some glitches. I have to restart my phone occasionally, but that's no reflection on the Tim's unit. Tim's stereo unit works great and does what it's supposed to do. So absolutely love that. And like I said, I'm probably forgetting something, but I'm pretty sure that's just about it. Oh, underneath the bike, I don't know if we can see it. Underneath, I did add a skid plate. Yeah, we're not going to get under there. I don't want to turn the camera upside down, but I put a skid plate just to protect the plumbing. If you're riding along and you hit something, the parts are all on back order for that, and it's a pain to deal with that. So I did put on a skid plate. Like I said, I'm sure there's things that I'm forgetting, but the skid plate was a huge upgrade just because, like I said, if you do hit something, we saw a guy, there was a brick in the road, and then once we saw that, next thing you know, we see a bike on the side of the road, disabled. On our way back through, they're loading that bike onto a flatbed. All of his plumbing had been destroyed by that brick. All the parts for that, last time I checked, were still on back order, so why run the risk? You can get, Hogworks makes a nice one, Thrash and Supply makes one, Amazon has them. There's really no reason not to have a skid plate under these bikes. It's really something, in my opinion, that should come on the bike from the factory. It just is. If you're going to have all that plumbing for the cooling system under there that's exposed, you really should provide some kind of protection for it, but that's up to Harley-Davidson to do. Now, I've talked about some of the things I've added to the bike, and let me give you my impression of the bike overall, what I've liked about it, what I didn't like about it, and do I recommend you getting one? That's really not anything I can answer. It's up to you, but I can just tell you, coming from a 23, going to the new body style, the difference is significant. Obviously, appearance-wise, the fairing is different. The infotainment system is much, much better. I will say this, the infotainment system, while it is larger, and I get that, it's much more stable performance-wise than what I had on my ST. Now, I don't know if the ST just had a problem, but it was very glitchy. It just was. I would lose signal quite often. And with this, it just doesn't happen. So I'm very happy with that. The ride modes on this, it's amazing. Rain mode comes in handy if you got to ride in those conditions, but you have sport mode, which is really cool. Don't get me wrong, but then you have the custom mode. And Harley, on their YouTube channel, they provided the settings that you can do get as close as you can to like a CVOST settings. And when I put it in that custom mode, this bike is a torque monster. It just flies. I have no reason to upgrade the engine at all. It does have Chromeworks slip-ons, but I have not done anything other than there's no tuner. I haven't changed the air cleaner. It's just stock, and it is a torque beast. It just is. I mean, I know guys are out there saying, "Oh, you got to do a stage 2. You got to do this. You got to do that." All you got to do is ride the damn thing. You don't need to do anything. It is plenty powerful for me. I had to ride up today, go up the highway. I was in the express lane. You just pull back on that throttle, and you're doing 95 before you know it. And I don't need to go any faster than that, okay? But yeah, power-wise, it's amazing. Infotainment system has been phenomenal. I've actually absolutely loved it. Comfort-wise, the biggest problem I had with the old-style Road Glides were the handlebars. I don't know what they were thinking. The Road King and the Road Glide had the worst handlebars of any bike that they've ever made. With the stock Road Glide handlebars, they were bent this way, so you were sitting with your elbows. These stock, and I thought to myself, when I get this new bike, I'm gonna have to get new bars now and go to that expense. You don't need to get new bars. These things are so comfortable as is. I absolutely love them. They're nice and high. So I don't get the fatigue like I used to get with the bars being too low. They're almost like a 12-inch ape hanger. They really are. They're extremely comfortable. But if you do want to change them, it's like a Road King now. You just take off the 4 bolts, put in the new bars. Changing them would be a breeze, but there's really no need to, in my opinion. You may want to go with T-bars. I'm not a T-bar guy, whatever. But I absolutely love them as far as comfort goes. They look good. Comfort-wise, the entire bike, the seating triangle, as they call it, I could sit there for hours and just ride. I'm so comfortable on the bike. Now, the stock seat, I will tell you, I still have the stock seat. I'm not going to get rid of it. Comfort-wise, I didn't have a problem with it. I could ride that bike for hours, or that seat for hours, and not have a problem. The only problem I had with the seat was that it did push me forward a little bit too far. I felt like I was sitting on the tank. I know there are Mean City Cycles here in Maiden. There's different companies that will, they can take the cover off and change that, which is an option I could do down the road to alter that stock seat. But comfort-wise, it was a huge upgrade. And speaking of huge upgrades from the 2024, from the old body style, the 2023 to this new, I want to talk about the suspension system. The old Road Glide suspension, while it was better than the Road King, it still left a lot to be desired. It just wasn't as comfortable as you wanted. Now, I do know a lot of folks are going to get Legends and Olands and all these other Fox and all this other stuff. Having come from a Road King and an old style Road Glide, this suspension has been phenomenal. I absolutely love it because now, not only can you adjust the little preload setting there, like they've always had on the left side with the little knob, now you can actually change the dampening on the left side of the bike too. Really fine tune the ride to your comfort, to your weight. And you know, there's a guide that comes in the owner's manual, tells you how do you want to set that, how many millimeters. But that's just a guide. What you're going to want to do is set it like that and then go for a ride and then come back and tweak it and just play with that until you get to that comfort level. That it's amazing how I've got it dialed in right now, and this bike just eats up the bumps. And a lot of folks that are complaining about the suspension didn't bother to change that. I met some salespeople that didn't even know you could change that. So it is something that you're going to want to do. One of the first things is get the suspension adjusted because once you get it fine-tuned, it's phenomenal. Another item that I don't have on the bike right now that I had from Hogworks, I have a color-matched Razor Tour Pack with the liners. And while I'm not a fan of the Tour Pack look necessarily on the bike, extremely useful. We took the bike, we went to Myrtle Beach Bike Week, and having that Tour Pack, it really comes in handy. And Hogworks, their color match is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. When I took it out of the box, my friend Keith was here, and the way the lighting was, I'm like, oh man, this isn't even close. It looked terrible. But then when I got it next to the bike, I'm like, oh gosh, this is it. And we were both like, wow, they actually did a phenomenal job matching the color. Fit and finish on that thing, as with all Hogworks products, is phenomenal. And you know, their lighting, I first found Hogworks when I was buying LED lighting for some of my older bikes. They all come with a lifetime warranty, and their customer service is unbelievable. So if you ever need anything from Hogworks, just give them a call. They're excellent to work with. But yeah, the Tour Pack, it's up on the shelf up there. I got, like I said, I got the liner that's color matched. It's the black with the gray stitching, which matches the bike. I do want to upgrade the saddlebag liner. I want to get liners that match that. So that's going to be down the road. But overall, I'm trying to think of things about this bike that I just didn't like. And the taillight was hideous. The license plate bracket was terrible. I hated that. That's gone. The red lights, I don't know why they did bright red. It just, they're gone. I hated those things. Comfort, performance, all that stuff. There's nothing about the bike I didn't like. I absolutely loved it. And knock on wood, I've had no major issues with this bike. I know some folks have, especially, you know, the first model year. You know, some folks may say, you know, they got to work the kinks out. I waited several months for the bike to be on the market, and there was a recall, and they did fine tune a few things and worked out a few bugs. I've had no issues. I absolutely love this. I can't stay off it. I just want to ride it nonstop. It's so comfortable. It's so powerful, and it's just a real pleasure to ride. And if you're on the fence, take one for a ride. Try to find a 2024 leftover, because they did raise the price $2,000. They didn't change anything from 24 to 25, just the price went up $2,000. So if you can find a 2024, save yourself a little bit of money. I highly recommend that. Yeah, it's a year old at this point, but who cares? It's $2,000 you're going to save yourself. So, but I mean, as far as things I don't like about the bike, there's really nothing significant. You know, the license plate frame and the taillights, but those have both been corrected. But I think you're going to love the bike. Get out and take one for a test ride. The demo truck is always at a Harley dealership, and most dealers will let you ride them now anyway. So if you want to go take one for a test ride, I highly recommend it. But I will warn you, if you ride one, you're going to want to buy one. It's that significant of a difference. It just is. I know you can comment if you want to. Some people may disagree with me, but the differences are significant. They really are. The engine is, it's so much smoother. The transmission is smoother, and the power delivery, it's amazing. You hit that throttle and it just goes. It's worlds above the old bike. It just is. It just, I really can't say enough about the changes that they made. They've changed everything, and they did a great job. So I highly recommend the bike. If you have any questions about it, feel free to comment, ask, you know, you can email me, whatever, and I'd be happy to answer any questions. The only thing I won't let you do is test ride it. If you live here locally, go ride your own. But no, just I do recommend the bike. It's a great bike. I'm very happy with it. Like I said, I'm about 12,000 miles now. I'm looking forward to putting many more on it. I have no intention of getting rid of this thing. I don't care what they come out with next. I love this bike. I love the color combination. I've got more things that I want to do accessory-wise, so I'm very excited about it. So, yeah, that's about all I had this week. I want to thank you all for coming along for the ride. Ride safe, ride off, and be careful out there because it's a little crazy on the roads. We've seen some accidents lately, but that was about it. So, again, any questions, let me know in the comments. There will be links in the description, and I'll see you in the next one.